Oh shit, wrong thing. Sorry guys, wrong thing. Okay, wait a minute. The only thing I know for certain is that I know nothing. Fixing magic, getting yelled at. No need to be the smartest. That will most likely only get in the way. Some say he's lazy, but why work harder when you can work like a dunce whisperer? Maybe it's the demons causing trouble for all. Can you fix that problem like any other? It's the tale of the dunce whisperer. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. And with me, Evely, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah, welcome, guys. We are here to discuss Rippaverse's, is it the newest release, kind of, that's gotten to people? NORFRICA,
Yeah,
which...
close. If it's not the news, it's close.
Yeah, which has been hyped up for a while. People have been waiting for this one for quite a while. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to have a little discussion about that. But real quick, let me say hello to the chat before we get started. We have the Merc Lounge. What's up, dude? What's going on? Great videos, by the way. Great videos to help us prepare.
It's a great way to recap and stuff.
Yeah. Juggalo Jer.
It's one of these.
What's up, dude? What's up? Yeah. Goody Vivaldi.
Nailed it.
Yes. What's up, dude?
You actually made it sound really cool instead of just random and like hashtags and stuff. Damn.
Yeah, boy, Zach matters. What's going on? Middle-aged Republicans. Am I middle-aged? I haven't gotten that. What? Queen. Damn it. Oh no, I'm sorry, Zach. Damn it.
I haven't read your comic, so I can't weigh in on that, but
well, to be fair, his comic, I think he's done YouTube. Well, I think he's done a couple. I know he did Rock and Roll Ninja.
That sounds cool.
Which, well, yeah, Matt Barr did that, who also did the cover Tale of the Dunce Whisperer, which is the song that we listened to just before. So no bad words there. So close enough. All right, cool. And welcome, student. Oh God, what's up, man?
Yeah, some of these chat names are too good.
Yeah, and just hopped in. What's going on, Brown CBR?
Bus.
He's back in the bus.
Technically, he's in the middle. He's in the middle of the bus. He's like,
well, I'm kind of a floating body right now with my thing. Right,
he sits in the middle too. He's not even in a seat.
Yeah. Well, I'm in such a weird setup because of my living situation currently, but you know that hopefully that's gonna change very soon. But Evely, how's your week been?
Oh,
I think
it's been pretty,
a little bit long.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I know it's not as crazy as having some Chick-fil-A soda on stream, but it's been pretty good. It's been busy, but you know it's always busy. So we're just chipping along things.
Well, so
reading
just
books by Jizza Brooks.
By Jizza, Jizza books. Yeah, I will say that. Okay, so for today's discussion, we're going to talk a little bit, not spoilers for people, you know, who haven't read it yet. I understand not everyone's gotten it yet because of there's so many books. It's kind of hard to you really can't get every Rippaverse book at this point, you know, unless you're really loaded. So, Reese, welcome to the stream, man. So we will be doing a slight non-spoiler discussion part before we get into the spoilers. So, and we will mention clearly before we get into that. But also another thing to keep to look forward to on my channel is we'll be talking about Jazza, Shad and Brooks' brother released a book. The audiobook just released recently, and we are going to do a review of that and kind of compare and contrast between him and Shad to see who wrote a better book. What was it called? I actually don't remember the name of it.
Shadow of the Conqueror.
No, not Shadow. I remember Shadow of the Conqueror, but
Oh.
like Jazz's is like pretty basic.
Oh,
It's like
his book?
Ascendance.
It's either Ascendance or Ascendant. I think it's
Yeah.
Ascendance. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, we'll get in that. We'll talk about that hopefully in the next week or so.
The Ascendance.
The Ascendance.
The
Okay,
Ascendance.
the
And
Ascendance.
it's a Threadweaver's book. Threadweaver's book.
Threadweavers.
The Ascendance.
I like that name, Threadweavers, but we'll see. We'll see. Spoil the shit out of it. We will. I mean, we will. That's what we do here, but not just yet. Not just yet. Anything else coming up on the channel? I don't have time to make regular videos. I will probably be doing a Friday stream because I'm trying to make a regular Friday stream, but we'll see. I mean, I have been streaming on Fridays, at least or on Von Coleman's channel. So, but yeah, I have projects. Oh, join the Discord if you're not already. It's in the description of this video. So join the Discord. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like, share it out, let people see this, help get eyes on it, do the thing, do the YouTube thing. But let's get into it. Everybody's been waiting for it.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to talk about NORFRICA. Okay. Give us a little roundup, Beverly.
So from the site, first of all, this one sold 7,000 books. Like we said, people have been clamoring for this for years because they first appeared at the tail end of ISOM #1. I was rereading and I was showing you. He's got like the cartoon of Eric July's like, but wait, there's more. And then they dropped NORFRICA at the end. And it was like, what is this? This is crazy. It's like this band and they got magical powers. Dudes floating in the sky. And so
yeah, that was a great.
Yeah,
hint. It was kind of surprising. Awesome. It took forever to finally come out. But yeah.
Yeah, but 7,000 books later, made almost 300K. Pretty well done. NORFRICA, Glorious Death #1. It unveils a legendary chapter from the distant past, rooted in mythic tradition and cosmic scale storytelling. The tale introduces Asgarth, home to noble gods bound by discipline, and Middengarth, a mortal world under divine watch.
Party on, Garth.
Party on, Asswayne. Yes. When a fragile peace with Jotunheimel begins to unravel, two heirs cross enemy lines on a diplomatic mission that quickly descends into turmoil. Deception, conflict, and an emerging greater threat ignite a chain of events that will shape the destiny of the realms. An echo in the song sung by Valadin and Takari. That's straight from the page. That's the end of it.
All right. So I was just getting my Discord. Apparently my Discord link is expired. Thanks for letting me know. Mm-hmm. Discord's pretty quiet right now, but I'm trying to get it going. I will get it going. It's going to be a good source of information. Trust me. Have faith in me. I just have so many projects going on, guys. Yeah. Okay. You have some feelings about this right out the gate.
I do. Okay, so NORFRICA first appeared in ISOM #1. This is all the way back in September of 2022, which I'm like, how is it that long ago? So I'm rereading this, and I was like, man, all these like emotions are coming back when everything first started kicking off and all that. But I'm like, it's been 3 years. So for 3 years, there's been this buildup. And in the comic, they're playing a show, they're singing, they're performing, there's a mosh pit, and afterwards, Valadin and Takari, they're talking about how they might need to cancel touring to deal with something that happened. They're like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this thing. They're being all stealthy, but we can't do anything about it until they make a move. And if we get involved, Earth is going to find out. Our lyrics aren't make-believe. And at the show, they're singing about fallen angels and killing demons. And everybody's like, yeah! And then they drop the animated trailer, and it's like this power metal band. You got Dan Vasc and Eric July teaming up and doing this crossover. It was just like, yes, it's like this awesome band. We saw them in a band there, and we saw them in a band here. They're dropping vinyl records, which is music, and then cassettes. We're like, yes, music. This is going to be about a band. It's awesome. That's what I was going to this expecting. I didn't read like the blurb about what it was about because I'm just like, yo, NORFRICA. I'm looking at the cover art. It's got the two guys full grown and they're both there and got the bow and arrow and they're in the city. They're clearly like in Florspark, I assume. So we're like, this is gonna be awesome. So I mean, minor spoilers, right? Can I get into this?
Well, it's in the description of the book, which we didn't read, and we have explained this before. We never read that stuff, and it always shoots us in the foot. Yeah. But I think it's important because we're not abnormal for doing this. This is normal for people to not read the blurbs. It's just, it's stupid. It's damn right retarded, but it happens. And this is what my book, Tale of the Dunce Whisperer, is about. Is wrangling those retards. But no, it's important. This is important information to know because it's just like, I mean, if you're thinking, if you're Eric, right, or somebody worth a Rippaverse, and you're like, what do you mean he didn't know? It's right there in the description. Like, well,
right
dude, the thing is, the cover. One of the covers is literally, the two guys in action, and it's the main cover, and they're adults. That's not spoiler or anything, right? And it's that's kind of what I mean. That's what you're expecting, and it's not.
Yeah. I thought for sure. I love the concept of a super powered band. Obviously, as a musician, a guy that likes superhero powers and things like that, bands, especially like fighting other bands, a la like a Scott Pilgrim or something. I'm like, this is gonna be great. I thought it was gonna be that, and the setup is there, and I'm sure we're gonna get there. I thought this book was going to deliver on that right out the gate, and there's not only no band or no instruments or references as far as I could tell to music at all, unless there's something very cryptic. Well, minor spoilers. There's also one other thing that's kind of relevant to the whole band dynamic, because it's hard to be in a band, like if you're the only person. So I was just surprised. And again, it is in the description. This is an oversight on our part on some level, but based on all the fanfare and the hype, I was like, yes, we're going to read this book. And I remember you were like, dude, I got it. I was like, oh, you got ahead of me. And I was like, how is it? I was like, I hope the whole book's just about the band.
Yeah, I didn't say anything because I was like, I finished before. Obviously, I finished before you started it, and you're like, oh, dude, I'm so excited. Just give me like heavy metal like stuff. I'm like,
it's like it's like Power Days. I'm like, what if they play like certain chords, do certain magic, and like if the fans
well, I wouldn't even
a
expect
certain way,
anything
it
like
does
that.
like an attack or whatever. I had all these
I don't
ideas
think
that was going on.
Yeah, but even when we get to like the proper timeline, because this book takes place in like it's the origin of these two characters, which only origin of one character really right now. And yeah, it's so even when they are like adults and they're like we're on the regular timeline, I don't expect their powers to be music related.
I hope.
I mean, the one guy's got a bow. They play music on the side.
Maybe he shoots picks or something. I don't know. Let me have my.
That would be no. I agree. Like a bard would be cool. A bard would be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a whole thing. And I'm like, you got to look at this, read this without those expectations you had.
Yes.
But it's gonna damper some of it because I was expecting. For me, it's kind of a little bit more pleasant though because this is much more of a fantasy kind of comic.
Oh, for sure.
The feel, and that's my jam. So I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yes, absolutely. Just all of that to say, going into this, I was like, wait, where's the band stuff? Maybe it's on the next page. So if you go into it knowing that this isn't the story that's going to tell you about all that, you won't have the same experience I did. So my second read through, much better, knowing that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and then be like, all right, let me reset my frame of mind and give this another shot. It was a lot more enjoyable the second time through, and a big part of that is like what you were saying. It's more of like a fantasy story, which I mean, Rippaverse kind of dabbles in that a little bit, like Bloodruth.
Kind of dabbling a lot into it now.
Yeah, but this felt very, very much like it could, almost like a different flavor of Rippaverse. I told you it was reminding me of Band of the Crow, like the artwork and the kind of approach.
The artwork is very similar.
Stuff. Yeah.
And Mr. Reese, we're not saying we didn't like it. We're just talking about the expectations of getting into it, and that was like a big thing. It's just like you got the main cover, and you got one of the characters isn't in the comic. What's up, Zay? What's going on? It's Phil.
Hey.
But yeah, no, that's why it's like I picked this one. I usually get the standard cover, right? And I got the one with the fire elf guy. And I don't know. I just like I really like the dude's design. And I'm like, cool, because he was like in, it was representative of the story that we got, right? But okay. So what else do we want to discuss before we get into it? Because I want to discuss a little bit more. I think we can cover a little bit more without getting into any kind of spoilers.
I think it's safe to say if you dig Norse mythology, this was pretty enjoyable. I'm not like super well versed in it, but I played the first Dad of War, and I played Assassin's Creed, or sorry. I don't know what Caffeinated Wolf would call that. It's not a proper Assassin's Creed, so Faux Assassin's Creed, whatever. The Valhalla one they did, where it has a lot of the Norse mythology in there, and I've encountered it in a few other mediums as well, and I enjoy that. Like that story's cool with Odin. Maybe I guess what was it? Thor has.
Well, it's kind of like the best of the both worlds in that. and I mentioned this before, where it's like you get that familiarity of Norse mythology without it actually being Norse mythology, because it's slightly different. You know, the names are a little bit different.
Mhm.
Some of the realm, like you still got 9 realms, but they're different, right? So
Yes.
I think it's kind of the best, like I said, best of both worlds, where it's like you get something new, and different, and something
Yeah.
to kind of explore with still having that sense of familiarity, you know, which I
Yeah.
thought was nice.
It's sort of like if you love a delicious cheeseburger and somebody's like, "Here's a delicious cheeseburger with some candied bacon." You're like, "Ooh, I don't know about that." And then they're like, "Oh, and there's some kind of like pickled jalapeno relish on there." You're like, "Ooh," and you take a bite, you're like, "That's familiar, but also a little twist, and it's pretty tasty."
Yeah. Don't listen to Evely's video game takes like at all. He's
Disclaimer.
very
Oh,
particularly
hell, it didn't
bad video
suck.
game takes.
No, it was fun.
Yeah, so we'll get into our thoughts about
I like how anytime I show up, people are like, "Don't listen to it. Just ignore that aspect of his entire essence, and everything will be good."
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that this is a fair question, right? Did Eric level up his writing? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I watched Merc's video and he mentioned how like it didn't feel like Eric as a character, you know, talking to you. And that happened in ISOM. You know, that happens with many writers, right? Where you're just, if you know a bit about the person, you kind of hear that person's voice coming from the characters. And that didn't happen in this book, which is definitely a sign of leveling up. So yeah, absolutely. This was much better writing from Eric. I thought it was a pleasant surprise. And I think I'll just say my overall thoughts on the book too. And also, hi, LeMay.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I very much did enjoy the book, right?
Hmm.
Overall feelings, I liked it. I like the feel of it. I like the action. I like kind of the direction the story's going into. I know Evely just doesn't like the fact that it's not music
I
based.
gotta
So
know that. I enjoyed it.
I
After
know,
the
I
second
know.
time around, I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I thought this was a great book. I think this is actually going to be a cool book for, you know, just to anyone just like, hey, you like fantasy stuff? Like this is more of your fantasy type of stuff. So boom, right there. Also, it's like, it feels a lot more detached from the other stories that are going on with the Rippaverse. So it's kind of like you really don't feel like you need to read anything else to get this, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I think
Now,
overall, I think it was really good. Like I said, I agree with him that this is Eric's best writing. I haven't read his the short that he did with that one gangster character, but yeah, absolutely. I really I enjoy this.
Salvage PI.
Salvage
That was
PA.
yeah, it was short, but it was a fun one. I was
Yeah,
gonna
what
say, with this, I even to contradict myself, the second read through because it wasn't dealing with the band aspect. Honestly, if there was even they spent a few more books before they become the band, I actually would be okay with that because they set up the world and like the different realms battling and these little teasers and stuff that I'm like, I wouldn't mind spending a few more books just in that part of the whatever the term is, realm or whatnot, before they even come down to what do they call it? Mid Ganarth. I tried to write down all the terms. So many weird words.
A lot of terms, a lot of
arts,
words.
a lot of heims.
Yeah, we're gonna
A lot
have
of
some
horrors.
criticisms to come, but yeah, like generally speaking, overall, I enjoyed the book. I would recommend it to people.
Yes.
Also, the art, which at this point is just becoming a Rippaverse standard.
Yeah, dude.
With the art is not missing, and also you just open up in the the first
Very first
page.
page,
I don't know what
it's
they're
like-
doing with like. It's just again, it kind of like
Wow.
yeah, like wowing me exactly kind of how like Zaylan did with some of these images. I still stand that Zaylan has the best art so far, but yeah, this was pretty awesome as far as art goes.
Slight spoilers, but like every time they come to a gate that they use to travel, there's like some hot chick working it. It's just like the girl from the cover. It's just hanging out. Like, hey, you need to get through the gate. I'm your person. And there's the was it the red chick too? Yeah. Just every time they come to a gate. So
Great character designs. In this one.
it's a good way to put it.
Is this my favorite Rippaverse book so far? No, Horseman is still my favorite. The character is too good. Yeah, and we'll see with Horseman 2. I don't expect Horseman 2 to disappoint at all. But yeah, okay. I think at this point might have to get into spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, you kind of want to run this. You're pretty good at like doing the tempo with the the story.
I basically just try to shorten everything, and then sometimes my notes don't make any sense. But yeah, it starts
Yeah.
off best of my
This
knowledge.
isn't one of the longer books, too, which
Really, I thought it was 56 pages like a lot of the others. It's just I
yeah,
feel
but
like
I
the
was thinking. I mean, you got to think like when Rippaverse first started, it was like 100 page, almost 100 page books, and
yeah.
I kind of with how long we waited for. Not, I'm not saying I was like disappointed on this. I was like kind of foreseeing this would be one of the longer books, but you know,
Oh, okay. I like this. I don't know the format. It's very digestible. You can sit down and knock it out in one reading, and then go back to it and read it again and again. But I get your point. I get what you're saying. But I thought it was a good length. Anyways,
yeah,
uh,
no, it was the play like. Sorry, I didn't know I was supposed to add to that, but
I was making wiener jokes, but we'll move on. Okay,
oh,
so it starts off, and it's a father talking to his son in Valadin and his dad, who his dad is not. It's Odin, but it's not Odin, right? His name's Alfodr.
I mean that's another name for Odin. I mean, there's
I've never
Odin
heard
has
that
many
before.
names,
Oh, that guy with
but
his one eye, having a bunch of names. So they're
yeah,
talking, and right away the art, as we mentioned, is awesome. I don't know what it's called in this format, and I should know the term. In video games, it's particle effects. It's when there's like a bunch of stuff going on, like
yeah, I think it's particle
snow and
effects too.
fire and like electricity and just like things all over. So you get this scene of space and there's stars everywhere, and it's just like splatter paint effect, the paintbrush to give it like tons and tons of stars. And it reminds me of everyone's favorite classic movie, Highlander. Some of the battles in that, tons of particle effects going on, or even
Yeah,
Yaira 1,
Highlander, great movie.
dude, such a good movie.
No
Yaira 1,
controversial takes there. Yeah.
none. With the blizzard, and it's just like every page has like tons of stuff going on. I love that in comics. There's just something about that hits me. And you open up the book, and right away, like you mentioned, similar to Zaylan, you're getting a lot of that going on. Um, so his dad is telling him, there's a lot that lies behind the 9 realms, but they don't really matter to Asgard. So these guys are Asgardians, Asgarths.
Asgarth.
Yeah,
I don't. I
but
wonder what that is. I wonder if it's like that's more of the proper pronunciation, probably, but possibly of like, you know what I mean. You know, it's like people just know something. They hear it so heavily that they just start to think that's regular. But then you actually look at the hit. Like, okay, Genghis Khan, right?
yeah,
It's not
is it
pronounced
gonna be
that.
like Genghis Khan or
It's
something?
Genghis. Well, no, no,
Or
no. Okay, so that's some of the interpreters. Sometimes Genghis. Like they don't
Genghis?
actually are not completely sure, But
Mm,
yeah,
Genghis Khan. It could be, but so these guys are Asgarths, and they're talking about Middengirth, which they
party
show
animal.
is actually Earth. So Middengirth, and they're like, yeah, Middengirth is kind of weird, They're sort of like Asgarths, like they sort of look like us, but we live way longer than them, and they're really weak compared to us. Even you, Valadin, as a boy, you're gonna be way stronger than most of the people on Earth. And then it's got Isom, it's like wrecking
Yeah,
some dude,
but
and
there are exceptions. I like
yes,
that. That was a good line. It's a good
yeah,
line.
yeah, there's some good lines in this for sure. And basically, he tells Valadin like, "Hey, you can't go to, is it there? They can't go to, yeah." He says, "Father, I wish to visit Middengarth," and he's like, "You're not allowed to go there unless you're summoned, and your brothers are forbidden from Middengarth as well. So they're not allowed to go down to Earth unless you're summoned, which is interesting, because somebody's going to summon them, I assume, at some point with that line being set up there, but that'll be down the road, I think."
Oh, it's okay. So, student God's asking if they're referring to the soul entryway. I think he's saying like, as in this realm is the soul entryway into Earth. So like they're kind of like a barrier or something like that. But like you have to go through this realm in order to get to Earth. I think.
Yeah, I'm seeing that here. So they do have access, but that's a good point. I don't know if, yeah, I don't know exactly what the rules are. I'm sure we'll find out as the story
Yeah.
unfolds, not in this book, but in the future. They're just kind of planting those seeds. So he gives him that speech, and he's just talking about all of that. And he's like, yeah, you're going to learn about all that stuff, but for now, we got to train. We're going to need a
Training.
montage. So he does some training, and he's splitting arrows in half and cheering and stuff. And he's just Valadan. I mean, he's probably, I don't know, he's got to be maybe 10 here, judging from the drawings. He's a young kid. He's not a grown man yet by any stretch. And so they're doing the training, and basically the message here is you got to learn how to adapt and improvise. You can't just be
Oh,
you are strong, but you can't just rely on strength. You
that
got to be
was that
smart.
was one line in particular that stuck out to me that I thought was a bad line
Oh.
because it sounded very U.S. military.
Oh, really? Adapt, improvise, hoorah, like that. Was it the
Yeah,
hoorah?
this it
Yeah.
sounds like a basic line. Adapt and overcome. Like that was like out of all of this, it was the only line that stood out. It was like this does not sound like something that this character would say. You know what I mean?
Um, yeah, I guess. It didn't bother me as much, but I also didn't go through like military stuff, so I'm less familiar with that kind of
I feel like you hear it in every movie too.
adapt and
I mean, it's not
improvise.
like
Maybe some.
it's not a big. I'm not making a big deal about it. I'm just pointing it out.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
It's an in-depth discussion, all right?
All
It
right,
says
all
it in the
right, all
description, all right?
right. I like too. Alpha Odor is like, shoot me with your arrows, and the kid's like, what? He's like, go ahead, shoot me. And then he does like a sideways cartwheel and catches the arrows. He's like, aha, you can't just rely on
Yeah.
arrows. You got to be better than that. With that
Also, I
whole
like
thing.
the design for Odin. Like, I don't think I've seen a design with like I don't know. I've seen similar designs, but you always see him designed very
He,
differently, and I
yeah,
like this one.
he reminds me of if you mixed like traditional Viking Odin designs with Sub-Zero, or not Sub-Zero, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. It's got a little bit of that going on. The yellow and
Yeah,
the like the hood and stuff. But I agree, it's a cool design. There's a lot of really good looking characters in this book. All right. So that happens. They got the training. He gives them that little message about like, if you're gonna be a warrior, these are the things you got to learn. You're a little kid. You're gonna grow into this stuff. And then they have they're the House of Alfoder, which the first time I read it, I didn't
Alfoder.
realize his name was Alfoder. I had to put that together later on.
Ah,
But they're at the House of Alfoder, and then we're introduced to a whole bunch of characters, which you're gonna find as you're reading this book. There's a lot of characters introduced,
a
and
lot.
I do
Yeah, a
like
bit
though
too
that
much.
they put the name on the page. There's a lot to keep track of. It's a book that I think it's better enjoyed if you read it slowly and be like, okay, the guy in the green shirt is Bragger. The kid with the golden hair is Balder. Like the big muscly bald dude is Vitter. Like read it that way. And then
Yeah.
that way as the story's unfolding, you're like, who is this guy? What's happening? If you go
Where's our
slow,
name tags, guys?
if you're like me and you gotta go slow, okay? Yeah, it helped. So the first time through, I was just like so excited to read. I'm like flipping through the pages, waiting for the band. The second time, I was taking my time, and then taking my time, I'm like, okay, that's that guy, and it was a lot more enjoyable pacing wise too. Felt a lot better,
Yeah,
going a little bit slow.
we're gonna have to pronounce all the names.
Oh, we're gonna nail them all too. We've been
Yeah.
practicing my
Well, Tyr,
Norse.
that's the Norse god of justice.
That
I mean, I'm
name's
sure all these guys are like. I think Baldur. I remember that name.
he's got a
Smite. You ever
gate,
play Smite?
very famous gate. Pretty sure with
Freya.
that one.
Freya. Yeah.
Oh, Freya? Yeah, Freya. Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
person.
Freya.
And
All right,
Freya,
keep going. Sorry.
oh yeah, you're good. Bragger kicked him in the guts and called him a bragger. You know what that's a reference to? You watched TBS edited Weird Science as a
You
kid.
can't
growing
say
up.
that. Dirty bragger.
He kicked him in the guts and called him. So Valadin, his dad, they're having a meal together. Bragger and Vitter, they eventually after the meal, they're like, "Hey, we need to talk to Pa." And then after that, they're eating. Like, we need to talk to Pa about some things going on around these parts. Bragger tells Alfoder they need to do something about what's going on because the Jotuns they're causing problems.
Jotunheim.
Yeah, the Jotunheimel, yeah, I believe so.
Jotunheim.
Jotunheimel, they're causing problems, and Alfoder basically says like Jotun's always been trouble. Those guys are always up to no good. Even the Niflheim hate them. Even the Niflheim. Can you guys believe that the Niflheim hate them?
Even
So
them.
even them, they don't hate. I don't know if they hate anybody, but they do hate them. They hate the Jotuns. So they're like, we need to talk to the Jotuns because basically they've been doing some stuff that doesn't check out. And the dad is telling them it's not going to go over well. We used to have a treaty. We used to have an accord. We don't have it anymore. So you can't just like show up there because you're not going to be well received. So if you're going there, you got to be like real careful. But then the kids are like, look, if we don't do anything, this is going to make us look weak because they did something bad. I don't think it's been revealed yet what exactly the Joe Tunnels did.
Something about
But
boats that they mentioned.
we learn that later, but I don't think it's been brought up
Yeah.
quite yet. So do they go behind their dad's back to do this? That's kind of the impression I got, but am I incorrect there?
I think so. I forgot. I kind of forgot the context, and I wasn't reading clear enough on the reread.
Because at the bottom of the page, you got Vitter, and he says, he's like, when it is time, send us. And then the next panel, they're there. So I don't know if he did send them or if they're just like, we're just going to do this. I assume that maybe they did send them. I'm not sure. But let's see. Oh, the dad does know. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Reese. So I might have just misread that. So then it switches over, and we got the the cover gal right here in Angraja. Does anyone else say that? He put it in phonetic form in the chat for me.
I'll be right back.
10-4. I believe it's Angraja. Angraja. So she's the blonde babe. She's on her golden throne. She's the one, like, that cover. Everybody's like, whoa, check that out. So there she is. She's hanging out. Beautiful art going on right there. Cool character design. Her golden throne. She's sitting up in, like, space by that gate and all that sort of stuff. Ha. Is it Angraja? Angraja. Angie? Do her friends call her Angie? Can we simplify this? J equals H. All right, noted. So basically, the boys show up at the gate, and she's talking to them, and she more or less says, hey, you're trying to go through the gate. This might be a bad call. If you're going to go through, like, you guys got to be careful, because it's not going to be well received. Your dad told you the same thing. Be careful. And they're like, yeah. So they go through the gate, and whenever they pop out the other side of the gate, we get this other lady in here, which I love this design. She reminds me of, so they pop out, and they're in now the realm of Jotunheimel. And they're with a lady named Blugata, pretty sure. She's blue. Her name is Blugata. She's wearing red outfit. And she's eventually going to take him to the sergeant, but her design reminds me of something. I don't know. She's got like this crazy long red hair that goes the whole way down to her ankles. She's got the red shorts, blue skin. She's got like the face paint and stuff. Something about her looked like a combination of a couple other characters designs that were really cool. And this combination just, again, this book, there's like every couple pages you get another cool character design. This was the one that stood out to me almost right away. Or right away, rather. So anyways, they head over there. Oh, you're good. We're just talking about meeting up with Blugata, the blue lady, the Smurf with the red hair.
On the other side of the wall?
Mm-hmm. And she's going to take the sergeant. So she marches them over to the gate, and Jotunheimel, and basically the fellow there, the big red guy with the yellow armor, is like, hey, you got to turn over your weapons. And at first, they're like, we're not turning them over. And they're like, all right, we'll turn over weapons. All right, you do that. Because they got to be careful. They're treading lightly here. The accord has been broken. They got to make sure they're not offending these dudes. They're trying to figure out why they did whatever bad thing they did that I think has not been revealed yet. They're like,
we have somebody on the same page as you on, well, I guess all of us. We discussed this in the beginning about the expectations for the book versus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their whole mission, they're trying to get information. Like, why did you guys do this thing? I know we don't have a core. We're trying to be careful. We're here on a mission of peace, but you did a bad thing. We don't want to look weak, but we need to like come and investigate. And it's just like very tense, very thin ice with this whole thing. So they go to meet the sergeant. They give up their arms, and whenever they meet the sergeant, whose name I believe is Bergelmir. Somebody's gonna tell me like the R is actually a D and the G is actually a Q, and it's gonna be this whole thing.
We're gonna need Eric to produce a video for the proper pronunciations of.
It's just like one of those old like how to read videos for little kids. It's just like him, bah. It's like bah. Now you say it, and then I'll be like,
I think that's the challenge we gotta give to him.
It's
I bet he can't.
Yeah, nailed it. So they meet up with Bergelmir, who is the general of Jotunheimel, and he's a cool design too. He almost
he said
looks
flash a page of what we're talking about.
Flash a page before you talk about this one.
Oh, is that? It
kind of looks like if Geralt had a like cool uncle.
Bergelmir.
Bergelmir. Yeah, I think it's Bergelmir. That sounds really threatening. Hello, I am Bergelmir. He's the general, and basically he's telling these two fellas, he's like, hey, what are you guys doing here? You're not supposed to be here. And
one thing I'll be interested in hearing is the designs for all these guys are very different. So I'm kind of like, what's the deal with that? What's the deal with this realm? Why are the designs very different? You know, some are kind of. I know, because I feel like there's a through line for the designs of the. We only get a flash of the other realms,
Mhm.
But this one's very diverse, so I'm curious if there's a reason for that. And also, well, I'll mention it now because hopefully I don't forget. Jurgenheim or whatever the hell this place is called.
Jurgens.
When
Yeah.
we get a flash of the 9 realms at the end of this book, and a little bit of what they are. This place that they're spending a good amount of time isn't mentioned as one of the realms. Now I don't know if it's a different place, it's just not part of the 9 realms, or if like this is one of those 9 realms but under a different name that we don't see in the previous pages, which is kind of confusing.
Yeah. I'm not 1,000% sure, but that's even earlier. I was saying I'm like it would be cool to spend more time in all of this before they move on, even, or if they move on to do a side story with all this, because there's so much here. Like it's a lot that they're doing. I think that's what you're kind of getting at. Like it's a little bit confusing because I think there's so much to it, and there's a lot we don't know. Um, so, anyways, they're talking to Bergelmir, who's the general. He's
Bergelmir.
like, "What do you, Bergelmir?" And he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" And they said that the Jotuns destroyed some Asgarths. So I guess there's some Asgarths who were hanging out in Jotunheim.
No Aswains. Party
No
on.
As,
I'm
no
just kidding.
Aswains, right? Yeah. Not Zang. Unexcellent.
Harsh,
And
dude.
harsh. Stairway denied. They were hanging out in this place, and they weren't supposed to be there. Like the treaty ended, or the accord, and they're like, "You guys need to go home." And they just like kept hanging out and kept hanging out, is what it sounds like. And eventually, they're like, "These guys gotta go." And it was at that point that I think they attacked a boat, is what they were saying. So there's some Asgarths on there, and like, you attacked this boat. You shouldn't have attacked it. Our people are on there, so we're coming to check out why this is going on. We want peace, but we need information. And while they're having this pretty tense confrontation with Bergelmir, trying to figure out why all this was going on, we
Yeah,
cut
and
back to. Okay.
well, I was gonna say, I think the elf, the guy on the cover, he comes in and attacks Solicio. I think you say his name, Solicio.
Solicio. Oh, that's why you like it.
Solicio.
Oh, I see now. Hey, Solicio. Yeah. He
No,
shows up.
I really dig the design of his whole outfit. But yeah, the he comes in and nukes it, and it's like they think that they're
Yeah,
in
stooges.
cahoots together. Yeah,
He's
and I
just
think we're
chucking Hadokens,
chucking some fire, right?
dropping nukes.
So I think we're going to eventually get a little bit of why that these people are confusing that they have a treaty together, because that could be something that I think will need to be tied up. Because why would these Jurgenheim whatever people, why would they think that they're in cahoots with the elf people? It wouldn't be like if it doesn't get settled, I don't think it's too far of a stretch to believe that they would confuse another realm with working with each other, but I do think that might need to be cleared up.
Word. So Solicio shows up, and he's representing the Muspelheim clan, pretty sure. And so he's chucking, like I said, nuclear Hadokens and just like blowing stuff up. So tensions are already high. All of a sudden, this guy shows up, starts blowing up things, and
I figured something out.
Oh, you did? Go ahead. False flag.
What's well, not that. The bald guy. What's the bald guy's name again? Bolgadiers or Vitter?
Vitter, pretty sure.
Dude, that's Larry Shungite's great ancestor.
Dude.
And look at them.
I'd watch that wrestling league. He does look like they could be related
Yeah.
because they both have bald heads, and that's the only
Yeah,
thing
that means
I
they're
guess they're
related, right?
All bald guys are cousins is what I've read in history books, pretty sure. So this is going on, and Burgle immediately is like, okay, you guys teamed up with this dude. I don't know if this is like a diversion or something. He shows up, bad things are happening, and he's like, you need to arrest him. So a fight breaks out between these guys, and Vitter's slamming a dude. What's his name? The other guy, not Bragger. Bragger gets whomped. It's never good to get whomped in the face, just for the record. So he gets whomped in the face. Vitter slams the dude.
Dude, we could get something in the face. Don't get whomped.
That's right. There's some great, is it onomatopoeia in this book? Like the cocoon whenever he's launching the bombs and stuff. I really enjoyed the word choice. There's some fun ones in here. You get a smack with two. It's not a smack, it's a submack, which is good. And a whump. Getting a little whump across the chin there.
Whoop, whoop.
So the fight breaks out, and basically it doesn't go super well, to say the least, for our friends Bragger and Vitter. Vitter beats up some dudes, and Celicio is like, you guys, you've been taking advantage of Moosefelheim, and now you can catch streets. So he continues like beating up people and stuff. And I wrote Burgle foofs at Celicio. So the general guy, was he shoot like a laser or something at him?
I think doesn't he reflect his own blast at him?
Oh
Really?
yeah, okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
Celicio shoots a blast. Celicio shoots a blast, and
Felicio.
the general dude reflects it back, and it foofs right past him. And as it foofs past, he's kind of like laughing, like it's not really that threatening to him. But that goes on, and taking advantage of them, he foofs at him, and then Burgle, the general guy, sees this as basically an act of war from Asgarth and Muspelheim. He thinks like they're in cahoots with each other because, again, the two bros show up, and then Celicio shows up, and he's attacking them right away. And,
All right, our good friends from Asgard.
so Celicio does some damage, and then he bails. And that's when we cut to the next scene here. So that wraps up that little interaction between all those fellas.
Yeah, he comes in, he creates some mayhem. So I can't help but think like, and a big part of why I picked this up because I think he might be Loki inspired. Don't know this. A little bit on the rare side of Loki is that sometimes he is interpreted as like a god of fire. He's interpreted in many different ways. Knowledge about Norse gods is pretty loose. So I'm curious if this is like their Loki, right? It would make sense.
Yes, if he's just like an agent of chaos, because that's absolutely how he's carrying himself in this book. I like how Celicio was surprised at first, and then went along with it. Yeah, yes, it was a funny scene. It was enjoyable. All right, so Bragger and Vitter, they're still fighting. You know, the stuff's still going on, and as they are fighting, we get a new character introduced who is awesome. He's like a Viking Goro, kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna say Goro.
Yeah, so he shows up, and he's just like this giant guy. He's got the forearms. He's got the, was he carrying like a big spear or an axe or something cool? Is it a hammer?
Lidirio?
Ladiro?
Ladiro.
Ladiro. I'm not sure. I think it's Ladiro. Somebody else throw the phonetics in there. Again, we need Eric. Ladiro. Ladiro. And then you say it back, and he just keeps repeating it. I want that video. Viking. I wrote Viking Omega Red Goro is what I wrote to describe this character, how he looks to me. He's a really cool design.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah. So Bragger is like, they're fighting, and it's like, you guys are jerks. And Bragger says, you guys struck first. You shouldn't have blew up our boats, bro. And then Ladiro crumps them. There must be an onomatopoeia of crump. Yes, there is. At the very bottom left. It's not the dance move, but it's more of like he grabs them and squishes them and breaks their backs and stuff. And it says crump. You don't want to get crumped by Ladiro. It's not a good time. And then he also
I've been cramped. But crump? That's a little bit too far, bro.
Crump is too much. Yeah, you don't get back up from that, man. So then he also two-handed choke slams the other fella there.
Brother.
And then has them bound. So yeah, that's a cool panel. You get like this huge, full page spread there where he's just
spread down, yeah.
Yeah,
and it's good. It's good to see the heroes getting beat up. You don't want to see overpowered characters. Well, you never want to see them overpowered, and especially like if they're gonna lose at any point, you want them to lose early so they can come back and.
That's fair. And if they're gonna lose, they should lose to a guy that looks as cool as Ladiro with all his arms.
Because the worst thing, and I hate when it's done, is like they'll be like, "Oh, this is like the main villain," and then he gets like beat to a pulp, and then you're like, "Wait, no, he's not actually the main villain." You're like, "No, he's really the main villain." You're like, "But we already saw him get beat up." So, like, where do we go from here, bro? Like, what's going on?
Beat him up again, even more this time. Or maybe he levels up. Yeah. But I know what you mean. Yeah. So Ladero has both of them bound and ironed. So they're now prisoners. And he says...
Anti-magic iron.
Good choice. Good choice. Classic move. Make sure they get out. And then he's got to go back to Bergelmir to go be at his side. So at that point, we cut over to the gate of Muspelheimel. So they cut back there, and we see that the gatekeeper there, another babe, she's knocked out, Bilgia, and Celicio's there. He's making his like creepy leprechaun.
Well, this is like the elf. Well, no, see that was the other confusing thing. It feels like this is an elf realm because the two people we see that are from here are like pointy-eared, but this isn't the elf realm. as we learn later.
Yeah,
This is
they're
sub-realm.
getting in the gate to go back to their elf realm. Like he escaped
Yeah.
the fight, and now he's going there. And that is Celicio, right? The
Yeah,
light.
yeah. No, it's
Okay,
Celicia. Yeah.
okay, good. I was like, yeah, it's him. So he's going back in there, and he's like, let us return to our homeland. Our work is done here. You're like, Celicio, what are you up to, man? Causing problems, knocking out ladies. All right. So then he escapes. He goes back to his homeworld, and we cut back to the jails of Jotunheimel. And Vitter is trying to figure out why the Jotunheimel fellas are confused about Celicio and all that. And he's like, we're not even allies with Muspelheim, so why do they think we're working with them? And they're trying to figure it all out. You know, it was just chaos. Like,
Yeah.
my first read through of this, I felt like it was very chaotic. And it was a second read
You
through
know-
when I went slow. I was like, okay, now I'm connecting dots. But if it moved quick, and for these guys not having it in comic, if you were actually them, things would have moved fast. It would have been very chaotic. And that was
But we're
vibe
getting
was,
some
like, trying to
good
piece together.
representation of racism, and I just, I have a video on it. Stories need more racism. It's just not believable when you don't have lack of racism. So it's good to see representation of racism happening in stories. Thank you for the presenting
He
that.
says, yeah.
Eric.
Bragger says, manuscripts them to think we would conspire with the Moosebells. Is that why you're thinking that? Because it wasn't like the fine folks of Muspelheim. It was the Moosebells.
Yeah, it's like, those dirty elfkin. Like, get out of here, bro. We
Right.
would never mess with that kind. Not in our
Deal with
days.
them. Right. No
Yeah.
chance. Never ever. So like we're not allied with them. Unfortunately, Bragger's hurt pretty bad. I guess
Yeah, I think he's like paralyzed.
getting two-handed choke slammed. I guess that does that to a fella. By
Yeah.
Ladero. So
Well, so paralyzed, and then you continue.
yeah, his brother tells him like, "Hey, we're in prison, we're talking, but Ladero's coming back with his boys, so you got to get up on your feet." And he's like, that is the problem, brother. My limbs betray me." So whenever your limbs
Yeah.
betray you, that's not good. It's not a good time.
Yeah, if you're gonna get betrayed,
He's just laying
probably
there
shouldn't
like
be your limbs.
yeah, like a wet rug, just hanging out on the ground there, in his own. So
Yeah.
anyways, the Ladero shows back up with his guard, and Ladero is like, you guys are guilty of what you did was bad, but we're gonna let you go home. Just go home, never come back. And Vitter, instead of just being like, all right, bet, that's cool, thank you guys, we'll just be right out of here. Appreciate it. Thanks, officer. Have a nice day. He opens his mouth, and as we set up earlier on, it doesn't take much. This is on like paper thin ice. They were doing them a favor by saying like, go home. We kicked your butt. Just go home. Never come back.
Mhm.
And Vitter has to open his mouth. So like, okay, you're gonna run your mouth? Okay,
Mhm.
all right, okay. And what do they do to him, Bats?
Cuts off his leg.
Yeah, they cut off his leg. So that's what
Consequence. I love consequence for actions. It adds, and also you get a guy who's paralyzed. One guy gets his leg chopped off, and we don't know if this is going to be permanent. We'll see if anything like that, but it still adds stakes to steak. Steak's good, but adds stakes to the story. This is good. This is great.
Yeah, you don't want to get your leg cut off, so that's what you get. Run your mouth, and they chomp. They don't sever his leg; it's chomped off with a sword. So that sword chomps his leg clean off, right from the bone there, and then you get
At least
this,
it didn't get crumped. Could have been crumped. So
that's a good point. So then that scene, it cuts to the top there, dude, and his brother is just laying in like a pile of his own, limbs betraying him, but he has enough energy to reach out. He's like, brother, and on the other end, it's just the bloody stump of a leg. So yeah, Bragger's like, release these chains at once. Like, oh yeah, now they like, come on, man, you have like no cars to deal with at this point. You just short end of the stick, and it was their own fault. They had a chance to walk away, and they did not, and it's just not good. However, they do. He says, release these chains at once, and they do. They're like, okay, maybe this time they'll learn not to run their mouth. We wrecked you. We cut off your brother's leg. Please just go back home. And the older brother says, as the eldest amongst us, this is my fault. My bad, dude.
yeah, they just get completely disrespected, like left and right, just tossed out. And then when the blue chick goes to bring them to the other side, she puts them into like a water bubble. that she knows won't kill them, but like suffocates them at the same time. So it's just like they're just disrespecting them at like every single corner of the way.
Yes. So the gate. He's talking about the gatekeeper we mentioned earlier. Was it Blue Gata? Blue chick with the red hair. Cool design. Yeah. He, like you said, puts him in a water bubble. I thought it was ice at first, but yeah, in this water bubble, and then like pops it, just like sort of like what's the water torture that they do? Waterboarding. Sort of like waterboarding.
Waterboarding, yeah.
With magic instead. So like in this giant sphere where they're just like drowning, and she pops it. And as she's doing that, we get our good friend, everybody's new favorite, and was it Angrija?
Yeah, like I like how the gate guards that like just both have like ridiculously long hair.
Oh no, it's great. Angreja, I believe is what you guys are saying. Yeah. So the blonde pops it. I couldn't tell if she popped it or if she popped it on her own, because they're up in the air. It says splash. After all they have suffered by your hands, is her showing up. Okay, so maybe
I don't think it really matters whichever.
I think they're probably right. I think she does probably pop it, but
I mean, nah, it's more insinuated that the no, yeah, I guess yeah. She's like lifting them up, and then you would assume that's popped, and then like right after it gets popped, it's a speech bubble from the silver-haired lady. So it makes sense that she was the one that popped it. She's like, yeah, can you not do that?
Hey, they've been through enough. That guy's missing a leg. His limbs betray him. Can you not put him in a water bubble? That'd be great. So she shows up. Andrea shows up. Angreja. I spelled her name differently every time in my notes, so I'm probably not right. Angie shows up to help, and she tells the blood accord is void, and that the blue chick is like, hey, you're not even supposed to be here. They exchange blame. Ultimately, she takes the boys back home, and whenever they return back home to Asgarth, right, she's starting to tell the family what happened. So she brings them back through the gate, which again, the gates are so cool looking. Like,
That's a good point.
I love the look.
There's
cool
there's like a error. Can you pull up the 2 pages, the one that has the bubble getting popped in it when the bubble formed?
I can. Okay, I have them up. Now what?
Well, no, I was gonna say you put up the screen.
Oh.
Well, you see how her chest on the picture on the left, it's like covered, no cleavage, and then at the top of the next page, cleavage. So that's a little bit of an error, or it's part of the magic.
Or it's magic. It's probably just magic.
Yeah.
No. Anyways, moving on. She takes them back home, and whenever they get back home, she's got the fellas there, and they're obviously in they're a mess. Like, they're barely alive. And as she has them there, the family comes back to check out what's going on. And whenever they return, let's see, tells the family what happened, and Jotuns attacked them under false beliefs that their lands were under attack. They were sent for peace, but the cultures are different. So they're basically just kind of rehashing everything that we've been talking about leading up to this point, that it's just a lot of, why are you attacking us? Why did you
Wait, was there 2 blue chicks?
Was there 2 of them? I thought there was only 1.
I'm telling you, because you notice there, like, one has cleavage and one doesn't. But maybe it's
I didn't notice that, so you pointed
an error
it out right now.
Yeah. And a student guy said it was the back of her, but like, no, if you look on the page on the left, the bottom right of the left page, you could clearly see it's like covered here. And then the next page, yeah, see how it's covered in that panel, and then at the top it's not. But yeah,
I can't do this camera work.
I mean, if it's a mistake, it's a super small mistake. But
I didn't even catch it. Her eyes are up here, Bats. Jeez, her dialogue bubbles up here. Jeez, unbelievable. So basically, they're kind of rehashing that, like, you know, the culture is just like, things are off, and it was thin ice, and that's why things kind of went sideways. Freya says they need to go to Lifa. So she's thinking that they can take their 2 kids that are wounded really bad to somebody named Lifa, and there they can probably be healed.
Yeah,
Baldur,
magic.
though,
I would assume worlds like this have places where you can heal limbs.
Oh yeah, that was like totally fine with that, especially characters like this that are basically like kind of god-like it's not
Right, yeah.
surprising me they have ways to re-heal from this. So Balder, who from way back at the beginning when we saw Alfoder's table, he was the blonde kid that was talking. He basically says he needs to get vengeance, and Alfoder's like, nah, like you can't. You can't operate like that. You can't just go back and go right into battle. It's not going to work out in the long term. And the response that Balder has to that is basically, old man, you're getting soft, and for not wanting to go and get vengeance back. However, Freyja also agrees with Balder. She's like, hey, you got a point there.
Yeah, there's more things at stake. You can like,
and basically
let your pride get in the way or not.
Yeah, exactly. Alfoder shares that sentiment then with Valadin. So young Valadin's there. He's very upset at all this. And Alfoder tells Valadin, leadership's tough, man. Sometimes you got to make decisions, and it's the right call, and even your own family's not going to agree with you. They're going to turn on you, but you got to stand by it, and that's what it takes to be an actual, like, legit leader. So you get that little moment with Valadin popping back into it. And then we get transported over to Rippaverse. So we go to Rippaverse, and did you guys know it? Another place, and we get another another babe. So this one's name is.
If she were president, it should be Abraham Lincoln.
Right. Excellent. Irha, I believe is her name. Somebody's gonna tell me it's pronounced differently. It's Irha or something. So they go there, and Irha tells Freyja that her kids, they were hurt there. Can you help them? And she says something along the lines of like, no vow of healing shall pass my lips. I kind of interpreted that as, this kid is so banged up, I can heal his body, but like he's not gonna ever be completely healed. And
I can't promise. I'm gonna try, but I can't promise.
Yeah. She said there's one line in there about like his damage is deep. Like he's gonna be like the PTSD dog where it's like staring at the cupcake. It's gonna be like that.
Which is,
it seems like it's bad. It's
good writing, man. Because like right here, like, because that dialogue sounds like something this person would say in a way that's very foreign to the way we would say it. So I really enjoyed the conversation between these characters for that reason.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because Freyja says what the morrow brings I cannot say, but should my noble sons be lost, Asgarth shall pay a dire price. Can you heal them? And she says the severing of the limb is plain to see, yet thy brother's harm is far more layered. So that doesn't sound good. You don't want to have layered harm. If you're gonna have harm, you want it to be non-layered, because if it's layered, that's hard.
De-layer, bro. De-layer the harm, bro.
Layers harm.
It's onions, man.
It's onions. Layered. Yeah, he's at the core of the onion with his layered arm. It's not going to go well. And
they Shrek'd it, man.
They Shrek'd it up. They Shrek'd it all up. So Erha tells Freyja their stay here is not going to be brief. They're going to be here for a while trying to get healed. And like we said earlier, no vow of healing shall pass my lips. So I'll give it a shot. Give the old, as they say, the old college try. But we don't know how it's going to turn out. So that wraps up our time in Rippaverse, and then we cut back to Muspelheim. And they say that Jotun, I guess the gate to Jotun is now closed to them. But there's a lady down here. Do we get introduced to this gal down here with the red dress?
I don't know if we got a name, but honestly, we don't need another name.
I kind of want another name here.
Oh, that's the other thing, that the why I like their designs so much. It really reminds me of Blood Elves from Warcraft. So. Really, yeah.
So she's doing the magic hands, and she says, check it out. There is a spell to unbind the gate that I can do, but it's going to take some time. I reckon thou wouldest strike whilst they remain exposed. So she's like, I got to do this stuff to get the gate open, but maybe you should try to figure out, maybe attack the other people while I'm getting that worked out. And let's see, Celicio set. Oh, go ahead.
Is he the villain? I'm like rereading this again because he says, if war comes, so be it, but 'tis not the aim. The realms deem Muspelheim a mere thorn, such to say. Oh, he's saying no, we were more than a thorn. He's kind of pissed that they're not seeing him as a serious threat.
Exactly. The people, again, he called them Moosepills earlier. He's like, those Moosepills. And he's like, no, I'm smart. I can own the realm. So he's trying to like prove that they're tough guys and all that sort of stuff. What's up?
I'm saving for this comment. I'm about to get to it. Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, Celicio is cranky that the other realms are not taking him as seriously as they should be. So it seems like he's stirring some things up so that they will take him seriously.
I need the line. I need the line. Somebody commenting about him being vainglorious. I love that. I love that word. And it's the vainglory is the eighth deadly sin that was taken out by the Catholics, which I can't stand. But yeah, no, vainglory. I don't know if you know what that is.
I've heard the word, but fill us in for those of us
It's
who
like
need a refresher.
It's like needing praise that's undeserved.
Mm.
So he's acting very vainglorious right now. So if that whenever that line gets thrown in somewhere, I'm like, bro, good use of that word. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So he tells this lady here, we were not forged to be cast aside. We were meant to rule, to be feared, to be honored. And he says, ponder with me. And then he's doing this whole thing where he's like floating and has this like fiery vibe going on. And he's talking about
Great
different
page.
realms and kind of hinting at what maybe are some possibilities that they could tap
So
into.
Right now we're presented 7 realms, but the 8th being the realm that Solicio is in, Muffenheim, whatever, right? So we have Asgarth, which obviously is where our the main character is from.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Middengarth, which is obviously Earth.
That's Earth, yep.
Then we have Vandenheim, right? And this is Asgarth's mirror, yet not its ally. Their likeness hatch bred a rivalry rooted in old age pride. So I'm like, is this where Judenheim or whatever that place was? Is that where it's from? Because we don't see Judenheim or whatever is listed as a realm here. Because we have,
I think it is. It's not listed here, but I think it is still one. And I looked up just like Norse realms, just from other mythology, and Jotunheim is listed as a realm as well. So I don't think it's Jotunheim. Jotunheim.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the Rippaverse. So but the thing is, we know about 8 as of presently. We know about 8 realms. One is Asgarth, one is Middengarth, one is Vanaheim, one is the realm of Alfheim. And then we have Nida.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Hell.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Niflheim.
And you also have
no
Judenheim. Too. I don't think it's listed here, but I think Muspelheim and Jotunheim are the other 2.
No. There's only 9 total.
Asgard, Alfheim, Vandenheim, Midgard, Jotunheim, Niflheim, Muspelheim, Helheim. That's 8, right?
Yes, and then the 8th one we're told on like the next page. The 8th one is Neondala. It's Wakanda.
Yeah. So
this is the thing, right? So he's like, there's this ninth realm that people don't know about, that they don't know exists, and they call it Nidal, which I could have swore I was like, I'm gonna look at it's gonna be called NORFRICA, and I was like, it's not called NORFRICA.
I was a little distressed with you. Yeah, he talks about
what is NORFRICA.
It's something that's like a legend in their world. He says, I don't dismiss it as legend. No portal leads to it. No realm speaks of it. We do not question its truth. We fear it, for it is sovereign, and we are not.
No.
And so she says something like, surely thou dost not place faith in such fables. And then, like
7 listed, plus Muspel, plus the last plays, which is Africa land, which is Wakanda. Wait, keep showing it.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all.
So we end on that page there where they're revealing this other one, and then you get the cover art. So this is what I was talking about. We were talking about the cover where we saw that. We're like, that panel, that never happened yet. Maybe in the future. It didn't happen in this book.
What does this mean? Naidila equals Nayan Jahala? I don't know what that means.
Nayan Jala. Oh, I'm going to Google it.
Either way, with the text, this really shouldn't be confusing. It should have been explained better. Like, it's just a little line could have been like, oh, and this is where Jugenheim is. Or like, there could have been previously when they introduced Jugenheim or whatever it's called, they could have said in the realm of wherever, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be that confusing. I think that's a problem here.
It might be the kind of thing, too, as you get deeper into the books.
Oh, Nayan.
Pieces will fall into place a little bit more clearly. Sometimes that happens with stories where you want answers and you will get them. You just have to kind of.
No, that one should be here. Like that.
Okay.
There's no reason for that to not be here. That's definitely a fault. That should. like what would be the point? Like all the characters know what realm Judenheim. I don't even that's Djibouti. Everybody knows which
knows
realm
where
Djibouti is, except for the reader. Like, is there a reason that the reader doesn't know? I don't think there is. I don't think there is a reason that therefore it's a fault. You know what I mean? Now you shall live forever.
What is it?
That's too funny, dude. No, I really like what's being weaved together, and I find it's all interesting. There's like, yeah, I thought it was pretty dang well written. I think what everybody's pointing out, it's 9 plus 1. What do you mean 9 plus 1? There's only 9 realms. 9. 9.
Sir. 41.
Yeah, we pointed out some faults, but I feel like that's really the most I can find. But this was really good. This was a really good read. I definitely jumped it up. Art's fantastic, but I feel like I'm just saying that with every freaking book that's coming out at this point. So it's almost like, why even bother?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Like I said,
His names are killing me. Dude, he could be writing anything.
that's Djibouti, bro. What's the mirror realm to Asgarth?
No, he already mentioned that Vunheim is the mirror realm of Asgarth.
That's true. He did say that.
you could literally put something just unintelligible, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's one of the places mentioned in this book.
Oh yeah, the next book's got to be it's got to deal with Takari's origin.
Oh dude, see right here.
At least in part.
Right here, because I didn't read it. I thought I just saw Takari origin, and I thought Mr. Reese was making a joke that I just said he couldn't make up anything.
No, Takari's the other fella who's from Nyandal, I assume.
Wow,
he's not even from there. What if he's
that's what you you just assume? Why do you assume that, huh? Why?
I guess.
How'd you piece that together, huh?
I'm so sorry to apologize right now. That I assume that's where he's gonna be from, and I assume that in the next story we'll get more of his background, and that should be pretty cool to see.
I think you need to look inside right now and see how you came to that conclusion.
You caught me. I'm making assumptions. You know what that does.
Eric comes out with a video, biggest bigot of the year. Everybody's assuming he's from Djibouti, and
yeah, and I know that we have fun with our reviews and stuff, and we're silly and all that. But I thought the book was really good overall. Again,
I did notice this.
The first read through, I was confused, but the second read through, once I'm like, all right, now I'm invested in what this is. I thought it was really good. Like I mentioned earlier, I do think it's Eric July's best work that I've read of his so far, which is a good sign. You want to see your writers continue to escalate, to grow.
Yeah, notice no double. I did notice that there's no double page spreads, and I don't mind that. I know Student God, he's mentioned particularly he doesn't like with the with these kind of spines, he doesn't like the double spread because you get things cut off. And usually I don't really care. Well, I don't care until you see a really good double spread, then you're like, okay, I count. Yeah.
Is there any chance that they're like, after Zaylin, they're like, we can't get that print issue, and they're like, we just don't even risk that again.
Yeah.
Asgarth. Is listed 1, 2.
No, one of them's a made up.
7, 8, 9. No, that's 10. That's all.
There's only
Asgard.
there is no 10th realm. It's nine realms.
Midgard, Vanelheim, which was like the twin people. Alfheim was on there. Nida, Hel, Niflheim, Muspelheim, those filthy muspels. Jotunheimel, and 10th is Nyandal. That's what I was thinking. That's just making me feel.
No, there's no 10 realms though.
I think he just listed them. They're on our screen that there's 10.
No, there's no.
They're not listed on that page, but I think you're supposed to put it together. Nah, there will be.
No. First of all, why wouldn't Fire Guy? Why wouldn't he mention it?
His own realm?
No, the Jugendheim.
Because they already they were just doing stuff there.
No, no, because he.
What is Jugendheim? You're making up places.
Okay, look. Much lies beyond the 9 realms, my son. I guess so maybe. It's very confusing. Is there 10 realms or there's 9 realms? It opens up.
There's 9, but Nyandala is the 10th, as is quoted here from Good 8 DB.
10th is the legend.
Yeah, legendary. He does.
I guess.
There you go. I think you're right. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
That's still confusing. Maybe you could have said there's. Why wouldn't you list? No, I'm sorry. There's 7 listed. There's
gonna be a
7
map
listed,
on the
and
first
then
page of the next book.
he
Just
says,
for
and
you.
of course
Yeah,
there's
like that
our
and
realm.
too.
He didn't say also there's Jugendheim, where I just was. You think that would be? Yeah.
He just says also there's Jugendheim, which I was just there in case you missed that. I was just recapping to.
No, I'm trying to think. I'm like, but maybe. No, because we don't. Maybe when the Allfather's mentioning to his son about there being 9 realms, maybe it's because he's not keeping secret that there's 9 realms. Maybe the fact the 9th realm is a secret to everyone else. That's what I was assuming, is that the 9th realm is a secret to everyone else.
I don't know. The comment on screen is what I'm kind of on the same page with. Anything else is actually making me more confused. So I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how I understood it.
Yeah.
And I'm content with it, and I'm just gonna roll with it. Because the more I think about it, the more I'm
I
like,
could be
wait.
wrong. I could be wrong, but I shouldn't. I know I'm retarded. I know I'm retarded.
I like how the name is Stop Madness, and he's like, no, like, let me clear this up. Stop the madness. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's fitting, yeah.
Okay, I did star one comment. I bet Yara has history with these guys. I don't know. I feel like she's a part of the. I feel like she's completely unrelated.
But she looks like one of the gay babes, so there's always a.
Well, I think we get that vibe because she was married to a Norse guy, Viking back
I'm
in the
not
day.
ruling it out. I'm not ruling it
Yeah.
out. It wouldn't surprise me if she does. If she doesn't, that also wouldn't surprise me. But I don't know how all these pieces are going to fit together in the broader picture as things get
Yeah.
revealed. So I wouldn't rule it out.
Well,
I
a
could see it
lot
going
of
either way.
these Ripper books are very, very big picture kind of opening up.
Mhm.
I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, don't do another one. There's too much being introduced within the year. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about
I know what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know.
because we got the realms of hell from Bloodruth. We have like these intergalactic alien stuff going on with Yaira, but we also have the Magi going on with Yaira, like that whole society. And then now we have like Viking worlds, or the 9 realms, 10 realms. Some say there's 10, some say there's 9.
Some say there's 10, some say there's 9. Frankly,
and there's also whatever the dimension thing that's going on in the Isom story, which might be just connected to hell, like Bloodruth, but there's just so much big picture things happening where I'm just like, we need more grounded stories. Maybe not as grounded as like Horsemen, but a little bit less of like super big picture. Because I feel like this is like,
I feel like they're trying to do they're trying to give both, though, where you have these bigger, so people that like to really, again, he said, time to really nerd out. I think the people that really want to nerd out, they start getting out their Charlie Day, like lines on the board and connecting dots.
Yeah.
They love that. So the fact that there are books that kind of appeal to that crowd, but then you have ones that are a little bit more self-contained, like a Horseman, where it's like, okay, or like an Alpha Core, even like Great War Separation, where there's some of that stuff going on, but it is a little bit more local.
It could be the story.
It's not like a Zalen where it's like, what is going on here? This guy's in outer space. He's like super strong, but you get like a little bit of both ends of the spectrum, so you can kind of choose your flavor. I think once these things start connecting, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be fun too when we start getting more information to go back and read the books we already have in that new like context. Once we learn a little bit more about how these are connected.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. There's a lot of realms.
Like, no, there's a lot of realms.
Yeah, but it's like I mean, like the way Brandon Sanderson does it is like there's the physical, there's the mental, and then there's the spiritual realm, which is like completely different, like metaphysically, which it could be something like that where it's like the realms with Bloodruth are more like spiritual, like hells, right? which that was the one thing about Bloodbath I really was more interested in, like the different realms of hell.
You get a realm.
You get a realm. Everyone gets a realm.
I'm not honestly, even though it kind of feels like that. I'm not against that. I'm like, okay.
No, I'm not against it at all.
Because you could go. Each character could have like their own offshoot thing. That's like if you really want to get into the weeds with that specific world, you can. So I think it's kind of fun that door's left open and then they kind of come back here. Is that sort of? I'm not a huge Stephen King guy, but his world is sort of like that too, isn't it?
I hear. I'm not, dude. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't convince me to read. Like I kind of like.
Read. All right, I tried. No, I'm just kidding. All his
well,
books.
it's like one of those things. Like I kind of want to read it, but I really don't want to read it. You know, because I'm like.
Yeah. My understanding is, though, his books are they're kind of loosely connected in certain ways, and there's a little bit of overlap, so I don't know if it's something like that, like characters can...
Yeah, I tried to read one of the Gunslinger's books.
There are, like, separations, too, at the same time. I don't think it's going to be that divided, but...
Yeah, but they're connected, but they're, like, very loosely connected, where it kind of doesn't matter, really.
Right, so I think it's going to be a little more than that, but that was kind of the analogy I was going for, where there's opportunities to have almost separate worlds if you wanted to, but they do kind of come back to the central core and they can overlap. It's just going to be, I think, more opportunity for that in the Rippaverse, but I was trying to draw that parallel because that was the only other property I could think of that does something sort of like what I was trying to explain.
Yeah, but... Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this one goes in particular. Because, yeah, I don't know, like, I guess it's just because the book that I read right before this was Yair 3, and that was introducing a lot of big picture things. And it's like, it was one after another. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? But then also, like, yeah, I don't know, there's, I am really curious where the demon stuff is going on with ISOM, right? And that's where it's like, this was with ISOM 3 where I was just like, it went to the part of the arc of ISOM that I didn't really care too much for, where I'm like, I really care more about the demon stuff that's going on, you know. There was something I gotta mention with relating to, oh yeah, because there was, so we saw like huge consequences happening to the heroes in this story, and like one of the complaints with ISOM 2 was that people didn't feel like the consequence was big enough for him to like lose the costume. You know, it was like he failed to save somebody, right? Which I don't know if that was like enough for him to make him lose the costume. It feels like there was a learning occurred, and he was just like, "Oh no, we're gonna do consequences here."
I thought that was pretty intense. If he was just like, "Oh well," I would feel like, "What?" So I don't know. I guess it resonates.
Yeah, well, I think that's the assumption is that you're gonna fail to save people all the time, or at least you gotta show that he didn't fail before. You know what I mean? I don't know. But
now
I want to know if
how far off? No, I was gonna say he wants it yesterday. I mean, I'm there with you, which I think shows how good of a story this was. That I'm like, yes, I would read the next one tomorrow, please. I don't know. I'm curious how long of a wait there will be between this and the next issue. And I wish I had a timeline of like all their books so you could see like, oh, between ISOM 1 and 2 it was this long, ISOM 2 and 3 it was this long, or Yaira to see what the average is. I want to say it's like
Eric's really big into world building, but he needs to figure out the character writing to the level that, or at least I don't think he's going to get to Chuck Dixon level, but he needs to get like close to Chuck Dixon level, because that's where I'm like, you know, if he can piece that in there, boom, done. You know. Sure.
Now I am curious, like how many new stories, because you were talking about like they keep expanding. It's like how big will they continue to go out before they do start crossing over and meeting up? I know we had that one with as a story in Saints and Sinners.
Oh, yeah,
a little bit of crossover there. I'm curious because like Saoirse's going to get her own book. I think that was on like the release. Salvage will. I'm like, okay, who are they going to be interacting with? And then you got Michael Copper and Renashi. Is it Lillian Renashi? Her book looks cool, by the way. It's got like that Japanese horror thing going on.
Wait, whose book?
It's I can't remember which Saskia wrote it. It's the one that's coming out. It's not the Black Eye.
Oh, Cursed.
Cursed, yeah.
Yeah.
Got, like, the Japanese horror.
Dude, those covers look so good, man.
I know. Every time I see the art, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I need another job.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like cool. This is the thing too, because I'm just like, I'm a huge we're both huge Horseman fans, and
Oh yeah,
have
dude.
yet to purchase Horseman number 2. So
I'm trying to get it for Christmas, but I like bundled the wrong things together. I told my wife, I'm like, I want this one and that one and this one, and then she's like, wait, that one's not coming out until after Christmas. I was like, oh, whoops. She's like, whoa, now I ain't got any presents. I was like, get these other ones, and then I'm like, throw this in there. So hopefully it all works out. But it's
yeah,
cursed by Jen Saska was the one I was thinking of. But what I was getting at is we're introducing more and more new characters. I'm like, how much does that keep going on? I'm fine. I'm cool with it if they keep introducing more and more.
no, please don't stop.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, that's the biggest issue with modern comics. With like the most popular American comic right now, Absolute Batman, which I hear is good. I couldn't care less. It's just Batman. I don't care. Like, you stop redoing Batman. I mean, it's Batman, but it's not Batman. I'm sick of it.
He's got a silly logo now, and that doesn't do it for you. You're not. Is that the one where he's like fighting like all kinds of people? Where it's like, this feels on the nose.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I couldn't tell you. It's tiresome. I'm like, can we get new IPs that are popular? So I'm all about that. Yeah, how long is this arc gonna be, man? Who knows? This can go on a long while. I don't know. I'm curious how it's gonna, like, what's going on present time with the NORFRICA guys, because they're like sensing some serious stuff is going on,
Yeah.
and so it's like,
And
I don't know,
they're
that's
talking
why
about
I'm like,
demons and angels
Yeah.
and stuff. So I
well, I
assume they're
guess
gonna-
we gotta, like, we're gonna see their appearance again. I think hopefully in ISOM 4.
Mm.
Whatever ISOM 4, like, yeah, wherever ISOM 1's story start, like whatever story kind of birthed from that with the demon stuff that's going on, I want to dive into that, and we've had very little to touch on that. I'm like, please bring me back to there, because that's where I'm really interested in.
It's funny the comment here because I reread the very last like 4 pages of ISOM 1 to see the first appearance of Norfrica. And after I read this 4 pages, I'm like, man, I kind of want to go back and just like reread the whole thing because it's been a while, and just to see
Dude,
the
yeah,
difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all
and,
my-
like,
all
see
my-
the difference in the writing, the difference in the art, and it's a big book too. So I enjoyed it when
Yeah.
it first came out. I think I read it 2 or 3 times. I enjoyed it each time more than a lot of other people. There's some people who are pretty critical of it. It was like a pretty simple story, but I enjoyed that. It was more grounded. It was just like guys
Yeah.
punching each other. I'm like, yeah, punch him harder.
Well, I'm gonna
But,
get it. I'm gonna get into it too about like our discussion when we do the Jazza's book review with and then talk about Shadow Conqueror with Shad's book, and like how people just take the personality of the person and just completely just slap that on their project. So if they hate them, they hate it. They like them, they like it. And it's funny because like I watched a video came out like 3 days ago about a guy talking about like YouTube books and how like he remembers very specifically how people flipped on Shad with the AI takes, and that like there was nothing but positive things being said about Shadow of the Conqueror, and then all of a sudden his takes came out and then everyone flipped and it became literally like people talk about Shadow of the Conqueror like it's a fact that it's a bad book. Like
Oh.
it's crazy.
Yeah, that's it's a hard read in a lot of ways, but it's definitely not a bad book.
No, like me and Kuna really enjoyed it too. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm excited to
That's
talk
cool.
about that. Sorry, I kind of cut you off, but
Oh no, I wasn't gonna say anything insightful. I think actually, what is the next book coming up? Is it gonna be Horseman too? Is that what we're looking to get into? Hopefully, because that one's already out. I think that came out. I think Bloodruth came out, and then
Alpha Core.
Alpha Core didn't release yet. I think that's Q1. Pretty sure. So that should be in January, maybe. But
Yeah,
I definitely
yeah,
gotta
I've-
get Horseman. Gotta get that. I gotta wait till Christmas. Yeah, Alpha Core 2. I'm
Shadow of
looking forward to it.
Conqueror,
It's
because of
been
the
a while.
subject matter of Shadow of Conqueror. That's Shadow
Yeah.
Brooks' book.
Whenever I say hard to
Um,
read, I don't mean like it was difficult. It was the character in it is intentionally like one of the worst characters that could exist
Human
ever in
beings,
terms yes, in terms of what he does to people in the book. He's a vile human across the board. but you're kind of supposed to. You're kind of cheering for him, kind of, sort of. That's like the whole thing. It's like that's why it's tough because you're like, he's fighting that bad guy, so that's good, but
Yeah.
he's horrible, and they like constantly remind you, and like as the book goes on, they'll like take a break from him doing cool stuff and be like, by the way, if you forgot how bad this guy is, let me tell you, because it actually got worse than what I told you before. You're like, and then they start doing things where you like him again, and then like, oh, by the way, here's a chapter, because I know before I said it was bad, it was actually way worse than that, and it just like keeps getting worse as it goes on. You're like, stop making this, like, that's what I meant by that.
Well, we'll get more into it in our discussion, hopefully in a week or so. But guys, we'll have a little bit more to say, but please subscribe to the channel, share this out, like it, of course, do the things. My Discord link apparently is flopped, but follow me on Twitter. And I'll send you my Discord link. But yeah, anything else you got to say before we hop off?
Shoot. I did, and now I don't. Thanks to everybody for hanging out. Yeah, man, it's always good to have people in the chat that help us with pronunciations and laugh along and point out things that we missed and like bubbles. You know, we overlook things, so it's good to have a crew of other fans in here. I know I can't keep up with all of the chat and keep all my thoughts straight. When I peek down there, it's nice to have other people keeping tabs on things. So thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Good book. Great job, Eric. Really fun to read, and I look forward to more coming from NORFRICA. And excited to see how you grow on that little journey there. And again, guys, subscribe to the channel, share me out, help me out. I'm really close to 900.
Are you really?
Come on, please get me to. No, sorry, I say 900,
Wow.
800. I'm really close to 800.
It's still that many people. Wow,
Yeah.
Okay.
I should definitely be able to get to 800 before the end of the year, which I'm not producing much, but come on, guys.
I need 11 more. All right, you're on your way.
Remember, son,
It's been another review on the channel.
he's gay.
Appreciate you joining us.
Yes, father.
Y'all have a good one.